Hello everyone, this is Insta here. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing well. Something a little bit different now. Actually something I've never done before. It's actually, let's call it my very first reaction video. I'm actually going to react to the Oscars of this year, 2020. The Oscars have just been handed out only a couple of days ago. All those of you who don't know film and series, so everything surrounding film in general, has been a very big part of my life for many years. Everyone who knows me, even the people who don't really know me that much, one of the first things anyone will get to know about me is that I'm a huge film buff and I just love everything about it. So, of course, the Oscars, although it's not an event that I'm always incredibly anticipating, it's still an event that I'm, well, let's say interested in, because I do think that at least people in general will have to agree that let's say over the past few years, when it comes to the nominations and the winners of certain Oscar categories over the last few years, have been questionable, to say the least, especially some winners. I actually thought that the Oscars of the last 2 years, especially last year, was basically one big joke. I found some winners and nominations to be extremely overrated. Green Book as best film, although not a bad movie, I really don't know if it deserved to be best film of the year. But let's not forget the extremely overrated film that year was without a doubt Black Panther, who actually won 2 Oscars, which I think is just plain out ridiculous. Because despite all the huge buzz that was around that film when it came out, to me it's one of the most ordinary, generic superhero movies ever made. So yeah, let's, to say the least, I have been rather skeptical of the Academy over the past few years. Of course, there have been some very justified winners and everything, but still, I really dread and I might even say loathe the fact that the Academy has gotten way too political and way too alert with how society and the media is these days. I mean, Oscars should be an event that is centered about the appreciation of film. It's an art, it's my favorite form of art, it's a very important form of art, and the Oscars should be an event where this art is acknowledged, is celebrated, and how numerous contributions to this art are also acknowledged and celebrated, and just, you know, and it should all be about film. It should be about how it has impacted us. It should be about the appreciation of what people delivered in this sector of the past year. That is what it should be like, but the past 2 years have become way too political. A lot of speeches of winners, sometimes the entire speech of some winners is just pure political, with one political message after another, and that's just not what the Oscars is meant to be, and it's really cringy at times and frustrating to see what it kind of has transformed into. I mean, I'm not saying that politics don't have a place, but it should be done at least in a subtle kind of way, and that's really why I think that the speech of Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes was so extremely good. Yeah, brutal, but good. Still, that was my tiny rant on the politicalness of the Oscars. Now let's jump into my reaction. I'm not going to react to all of it. I have a clip right here in front of me, 3 minutes long, and it's called The Oscars Highlights, Outstanding Moments from the 2020 Academy Awards. So every moment that is seen in this video, I will give my personal thoughts on. So it begins here with Joaquin Phoenix's speech when he wins the Oscar for his Best Actor in a Leading Role for, of course, the film Joker. Now, Joker, I wasn't actually that big of a fan of Joker, and I know it is kind of surprised because Joker was like For some people, Joker was pretty much this product of Satan, but and for other people, it was like the best thing that has ever been made. So I was actually pretty neutral. I mean, without a doubt, the best thing about Joker was the performance of Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix is without a doubt one of the best actors alive in this moment. He just tanks every role he's in. He's very diverse, which is how every actor and actress should be. In my opinion, at least the really good ones should be very diverse. Just my personal opinion, and Joaquin Phoenix is that, and I think he's very talented. He's very good. He takes his job very seriously. Although I thought Joker wasn't that good of a movie due to some very let's say some very cliched approaches to certain themes in that film. Now I thought this film was at least good thanks to Joaquin Phoenix's performance. So I think it's totally justified that he wins this Oscar. He's done very well. I think it's his first big Oscar. I don't really know. I think it's his first big Oscar, so totally deserved. He did a fantastic job. The problem I do have, and I'm kind of saddened to say this, is actually his speech. His speech is very political, and I mean, it has some nice moments. I mean, he talks a bit about his brother River Phoenix, who of course sadly passed away many years ago, which is of course very touching and emotional, and I have no problem with that. But then he suddenly starts to call out these vegan themes and everything, and I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. I mean, I really like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. I even like him as a person. He seems very down to earth, very serious, and really committed to his work. Of course, I don't know him personal, but I mean, he really looks that way. But this speech, I was kind of frustrated because I was really hoping that Joaquin Phoenix wouldn't be one of those people who, from the moment he or she wins the prize, they just go on stage and just take the opportunity to fill it with agenda and agendas and all kinds of political topics and whatever. I mean, geez, it's not your job, man. It's really not your job to just. It's not your job to do this, okay? You're an actor, stay in your field, celebrate film, celebrate this art, acknowledge it. Stay away from politics, please, I'm begging you, because it's really starting to annoy me. Thank you. The next thing we have here is actually Brad Pitt's his speech. Now, Brad Pitt is a very likable actor, and again, same thing with Joaquin Phoenix. Don't know him personally, but still, I really like this guy. I mean, he's very talented, and he's one of those actors who has actually gotten better and better over the years. Because let's face it, like in the early '90s, he was this, typical handsome boy who would star in these very cliched movies, but here he is after many successful roles, and especially it all started when he starred in Seven back in 1997. That really was the film that kind of showed where Brad Pitt had more range than a lot of people thought he had. And here he is accepting his very first Oscar for male actor in a supporting role for, of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, one of the best films of 2019, if you ask me. One of the best Tarantino films, also, if you ask me. He deserves the Oscar. I mean, Anthony Hopkins in Two Popes, I can't really say anything about that because I haven't seen the movie. Joe Pesci for The Irishman and Al Pacino for The Irishman. Of course, Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. And let's not forget Tom Hanks of his film A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. The 5 actors nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role just are 5 top-class actors, no one can deny that. But I really think Brad Pitt getting his Oscar was justified enough. I wouldn't say his role surpassed the others of the category. I wouldn't say that he won flawlessly. I mean, I would rather actually call it a close call rather than a huge win, but it is deserved. He did a very good job, and I'm very happy for him. Now, this next moment, I really can't make that much sense of it. I'm not going to delve too deep into this. I mean, I don't really know what she's saying. I think that she attended. Did she not attend last year? I don't really know. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I still don't have the knowledge or the information about what she's talking about, so I'm just gonna skip over this. Next one is Renee Zellweger accepting her Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role for the film Judy. Now, I don't really know that much about Renee Zellweger. I've actually never really seen her in a film. Of course, I know the Bridget Jones Diaries, but then again, I've never seen those movies. I can't really judge her. I've never seen her act properly in a film before, simply because I've never really seen a film with her in before. I'm not gonna be too critical, but I do think, judging by some of the footage that I've seen from her performance in Judy, that Judy, if there's one film out of the 5 films that were nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role, those being Judy, Bombshell, Harriet, Marriage Story, and Little Women. If there's one film out of all those 5 that is the most Oscar-baiting film, I would say 100% goes to Judy. Like, it's a biopic, of course, about an actress who was successful and met a very tragic end. If there isn't a more suitable topic to make a Oscar-baiting biopic of, I don't know. Call me. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't really buy this, and I don't really blame Renee Zellweger, because I haven't seen that much of her performance, but it's just too Oscar baity, if you know what I mean. It's like it's one of those countless other films that are just purely made for, come on, let's just go all out Oscar, let's do it, just be as emotional, be as angry, be as happy, be as sad, I don't know, just give yourself 100%, and by doing so just fully go over the top, I don't know, but there's something that I was very skeptical about, because from the moment I saw that Judy was nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role, because I just knew the chances that Judy would win, I mean Renee Zellweger would win, the chances were extremely high, just because I knew it's a biopic about a very tragic person. Only by that I thought it's probably gonna win, and she did win. Again, I'm not hating on Renee Zellweger here, I don't know her that well as an actress, I haven't seen her do that much, but still, I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical. In my opinion, at least Scarlett Johansson from Marriage Story should have won, because Marriage Story is, again, also one of the best films of last year, and I would definitely recommend it over Judy a gazillion times. Then again, I haven't seen Judy in its entirety, but just from a few clips, I kind of know what kind of film it is, and that scares me off. Just saying. Now this act with Steve Martin and Chris Rock, I don't know. Okay, first of all, I do have to acknowledge that Steve Martin is one of those comedic actors who has been active for many years. And he has this certain status, and we have to appreciate that. So does Chris Rock. They both are people with statuses. They have done very well for themselves. All the better to them. Kudos to them. But I found this part of the Oscars to be pretty freaking cringy. Mainly because, I don't have anything, I get it, the Oscars, it's really an entertainment show, it's not just a ceremony where they hand out awards, it has really evolved into this show, it's entertainment, and I get that they want to have some variety between all the, elections and all the handouts of the prizes and of the awards and whatnot, I get it, but I find some of these comedic acts to be rather freaking cringy, and again, way too political. There's this part where literally they just address that there's once again a huge lack of female nominees this year. I'm not gonna delve into this, but guys, haven't we just passed this? This has been a topic that has overshadowed the concept, the core idea of Oscars is being overshadowed by political ideas and agendas, and it's just making me cringe, and not just me. I just had to scroll down to the comments and read them about every single Oscar video posted over the last, let's say, 3 to 4 years. And you'll find the top comments being people absolutely trashing the fact that it's become so political and so media alert, and everyone's so squeaky clean, and everyone just wants to give this exaggerated good image of themselves that no one asks for. It's real. So again, I'm not going to delve in too deep into this because there's really not too much to say. I mean, it's a comedic act. It's long enough. I mean, maybe a little bit too long to my liking, but still. Okay, this next part with Elton John was. Yes, I actually thought was very touching because, of course, his song "I'm Gonna Love Me Again" won the Oscar for Best Original Song. So of course he's very proud of this, and it's justified. I mean, Elton John is one of those legends. He just made so much great music, and I don't know, his acceptance speech I found something to be very touching. I found to be very humble. And yeah, of course, he in his image, he just went full out when singing his song on stage. It was actually it was very entertaining, and that's the kind of entertaining that I want in a ceremony as the Oscars, you know, singing a song that is linked to a movie that has been nominated, and the actual song that has won the Oscar, have it being just Elton John playing this song as he did, and let that be one of the kind of like the intermissions, like the entertainment intermissions that they won the Oscars. Not that freaking political humor crap that nobody wants and just makes it so cringy. I mean, have it be like this. Just have it be like that, and I guarantee you the quality of the Oscar, of the whole freaking show, will go up. I swear to God, 100%, cross my heart, hope to die, I'm certain of it. Now this next bit, talking about cringy humor. Now, okay, I think this was very weird. I think, well, I mean, yeah, of course, I think it's not like there was anything about the film Cats that wasn't weird. I mean, the whole film just was, I don't know, what was it? What was Cats? If anyone knows what the whole point of the film Cats was, just let me know. I think it's one of the most pointless things. I actually hesitate to call the movie at all. I think I just call it a thing, a happening. You know, it's a happening. The Cats was just one of the most weird happenings of Hollywood. I mean, I guess it was inevitable because 2019 was starting to become a way too good a year for a film, so I just had to release one last shit show before the end of it. But who cares? I mean, Rebel Wilson and James Corden. I don't not like these actors. I mean, James Corden gets a lot of hate, Rebel Wilson gets a lot of hate, but in all honesty, I don't mind them. I think Rebel Wilson has proved herself to be extremely funny in the past. So does James Corden. I don't really get all the hate that these guys get. Of course, their appearance, their involvement in Cats didn't really help that image. Still, I found this comedic bit to be the better cringy comedic bits of the Oscars. On one hand, it's cringy because I don't know, just look at them. I don't think I need to explain, because let's be honest, the Oscars is a event that is pretty serious. It should be taken seriously, in my opinion. I mean, it's not a comedic show, it's not a stand-up comedy, so it should be taken seriously, and seeing these two just standing there makes me wonder, like, are they really gonna go there? I mean, I get it that you would kind of want to be weird and quirky, but I mean, guys, it should be taken seriously. I mean, this is kind of like out of line. On the other hand, I freaking love the self-awareness they have. I mean, they're completely, and I mean completely 100,000% self-aware about the fact what kind of an atrocity Cats was, and they acknowledge it. They acknowledge it from the special effects in the film to pretty much everything, and I really like that, because a lot of people, when they star in a film that bombs, they just don't want to talk about it, and those actually are my least favorite kind of people. They just don't want to talk about it, and when they are confronted with it, they often get angry with interviews or anything. That's actually my least favorite type of actor or actress. These two, again, it's why I do have some sort of respect for them. They just acknowledge it, and they have fun with it, and pretty much the entire audience has fun with it. I mean, they're like, yeah, we know we started in some shit, but you know, who cares? Here we are making fun of it, we don't care, we have a good time, let's just do this. And that's the thing that I generally do like about this comedic act, although it's very strange and, well, it's stupid, isn't it? Yeah. Still, I really love the fact that they're so self-aware. So without doubt, one of the better cringy aspects of the Oscars, without a doubt. Now here we go to the big one. Freaking Parasite winning best film of the year. At least it's one of the most historical moments I think of the Oscars ever. The first foreign film to win best film in general. I mean, it's respect. I mean, respect. Bong Joon-ho, I think, and Kwak Sin-ai. I hope I pronounce those names correctly. I've been following Bong Joon-ho. I've been following this guy for quite some years. I've seen some of his work, not that much, but Parasite is really something different. It's new. It's refreshing. And that's what Hollywood is in dire need of these days. And it's refreshments. Before I continue, I mean, there were an extreme amount of nominees in Best Film category. Of course, we have Parasite, we have 1917, fully deserved. I mean, story-wise, very simplistic, but let's be honest. When we are talking about special effects and cinematography, it's one of the best films of the year. Maybe the best film of the year. Ford v Ferrari, I have yet to see that one, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Joker best film? No. I personally think Joker was a very good movie. Again, the performance of Joaquin Phoenix really skyrocketed that film to in the air to really make it stand out as one of the best comic book films ever, and I really do mean that. But still, I do think that Joker overall is kind of overrated. Not that much. It's not like Black Panther overrated, but still, it's pretty freaking overrated as a whole. But still, Joker, I don't know. I don't think it deserves best film. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, totally one of the best Tarantino films ever, in my opinion. Very relaxing film. Still very good, very enjoyable. Literally all the performances of the actors and actresses in that film is just great. It's just typical Tarantino. The Irishman, yeah, I get it. It's Martin Scorsese. Can I really say anything? I mean, it's Martin Scorsese. When he rarely does anything wrong, actually. It's Martin Scorsese. 3.5 hours long, but I sat through it, and I'm damn proud I sat through that movie. It can be dragging sometimes, but Best Film nominee, I get it. Little Women, yeah. Little Women, also very good movie, very underrated film actually. Way too few people talk about this film, Little Women. I mean, it's very touching, very good. Performances are just beyond the board. I think one of the best performances of the year, if you ask me. Jojo Rabbit, freaking insane. I mean, a film with a plot as like Jojo Rabbit can actually be nominated for best film is really gives me some hope in the Academy. And then finally, of course, Marriage Story also being one of the best films of past year. I mean, freaking Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver give the performances of their life, maybe. It's very touching. Of all the nominated films for Best Picture, I'd say that Marriage Story is the most grounded and also most realistic film. And that's also what makes it so good. So pretty much all the nominees, except for Joker, were very deserved to be nominated for Best Film. But Parasite is just an excellent film, very good, definitely worth your time. I'm very happy for this guy, Bong Joon-ho. I really hope he gets his drive in Hollywood, that we see more of him. I can't wait for it. So yeah, guys, that was everything that I really want to talk about. Of course, there was not all of the Oscars, but I thought if I'm going to do a full reaction and commentary on the Oscars, this is going to be like a video of, what, 5 hours? I'm not gonna do that, but still, I really, I think it was one of the better years. I think most of the nominees and winners were totally and completely deserved. I was very happy with 2019. It was a considerably better year than 2018, because although 2018 did have some great films, it was mostly, in overall, it really was a downturn. but 2019 has stepped up the game. I hope that 2020 will continue this route. Before I'm gonna end this video, I just want to quickly say my first season of A Legend's Tale, my own fantasy series for all those who don't know yet. My first season is finished. It's being proofread at this very moment. Once all things have been corrected and some changes are made to the story, then I'm going to upload one episode a day, kind of the same fashion as I did with my Game of Thrones rewrites. So yeah, pretty excited for that. Alright guys, this was Insta, and see you guys later.